Going for two, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for two, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top end. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo, this is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh.
What is going on, guys, and welcome to the 7th annual NFL first round mock draft. I'm your host, of course, Jeff Lambert. You can follow me on Twitter at JeffLambert77. Presented, of course, by Going for Two Live Podcast Network. We're live every Wednesday normally. Tonight's the Sunday special. We're on Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, all major podcast networks. And, of course, we're in the Going for Two app for iOS and Android. Tonight, we are here to mock the first round of the NFL draft as it currently stands. It keeps changing. We've had to change teams now multiple times over all these trades. But before we get to the actual mock, let's meet some of the hosts for tonight. First up, we got Sam Holt. She's a fantasy analyst for drroto.com and co-host of multiple podcasts, including The Look Back and The Fantasy Debate. Follow her on Twitter at Samantha R. Holt. What's up, Sam?
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you back on the show. Also with us tonight for her first time on a podcast ever, period, and it's going to be a live podcast. It's her first one. Cecily, is it Riddell or it's Riddell, right? You got the last name?
Riddell.
Riddell, okay.
I can pronounce that right.
Right, first name right and the last name wrong. So,
Yes.
I'm never good with names. Ryan knows this. She's a contributor for GuillotineLeagues.com and GoingFor2.com. And like I said, she's making her first appearance tonight on a podcast. Follow her on Twitter at Mrs. Team Riddle. Next up, we have co-host of my Armchair Daily Fantasy Show, Mr. Tim Strobel. He is the only member on this panel that has been with me for all 7 of these mock drafts every year. You can follow him on Twitter at KetoDFS. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Jeff. So good to be back. I tell you all the time, I look forward to this show every year. It's my favorite podcast we do all year. I can't wait to get started, man. Excellent panel again this year. Just like I said, so happy to be back.
Good stuff. And my other co-host of the Armchair Daily Fantasy Show for during the season and famously finishes 12 packs during our 1-hour show, usually during the DFS show. Gerson Aguirre. You can follow him on Twitter at DFS. You got a 12-pack back there, Gerson, for us tonight?
Oh yeah, the NFL sponsorship, Coors Light, baby.
Right.
Did anybody get that? Debo Samuel just got traded?
Silver bullet in the house.
Silver bullet in the house.
Did you just say Debo Samuel just got traded?
Yeah. Hold on. We're bearing the lead here. What?
What?
Am I the only one that got that alert?
You know he's messing with Jeff, right?
He's messing with me. There's no way.
I
got Adam Schefter on speed dial. It's not on my phone.
He got added. Hey, I don't think that's the person you want to have on speed dial right now.
All right, we're canceling the podcast, guys. That's it. Good night.
Thanks for having me, though, Jeff.
All right, good stuff. Joining us for the second time on our show here, host of the SGPN Fantasy Football Podcast. That's a lot of letters and words in there to fit that in there. He's part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Rod Villagomez, you can follow him on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. What's up, Rod? How you doing, man?
As a fellow Niner fan, my heart just stopped too. But yeah thanks for having me. I know you guys are here to mock draft, but I'm here to get mocked for my draft. So I'm looking forward to this.
All right, good stuff.
There you go.
And last but not least, of course, my co-host of this show, also co-host the Sports Illustrated Draft Bible Podcast, Ryan Searfoss. Follow him at Foss534. What's up, Ryan?
Not much. I kind of agree with Tim. This is my favorite show of the year. This is fun.
Agreed. This is a lot of fun. All right, tonight's show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Their rookies and sophomore best ball tournament with $100,000 in prizes is filling fast. Download the app for iOS or Android and use our promo code GF2 to get a deposit match up to $100. The rookies and sophomore tournament is made up entirely of the 2021 and 2022 rookie class with the top prize of $20,000. To recap, download the app, use promo code GF2, win some money. It's that easy. All right, let's get ready to rumble here. All right, and with the first pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Jaguars take.
I love this.
All right, and Sam, you are up.
I just have to say, like, first, I never get the first pick in any draft. Doesn't matter if it's a rookie draft, regular draft, I never get the first pick. So when I saw that I got it, I was very excited. And then even more excited to learn more and more about this player. I'm going to go ahead and take Aiden Hutchinson off the board. The Jags desperately need his help. They obviously have many holes they're needing to fill. They spent a lot of money this offseason, most notably on Christian Kirk, and they also pulled Zay Jones, but they definitely need someone with the power that Hutchinson has. I think this is a very easy pick for them. He's going to be a beast.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest pick of the night right there, because I think the rest of the draft is pretty much, I mean, it can go any direction, but I think that one's pretty much locked in right there. Good stuff. All right. Next up on the clock is Detroit. And Ryan, that's you.
Yeah, I was really hoping Sam would just kind of drop the ball and not use common sense, but I kind of knew better. But no, Detroit's in a weird situation. Obviously, they need a quarterback. Jared Goff really isn't a thing. But with this year's class, I'm not comfortable taking one at 2. Thibodeau was a guy for a while. He had a little bit of concerns when it comes with motor and kind of like more splash than consistent play. So I'm going with somebody who came on late on the process. That's Trayvon Walker for Georgia.
I knew it. I knew you would do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what Detroit's trying to do, they're trying to have a big physical football team with guys who are going to beat you up and are huge, are athletes. And Trayvon Walker's that. He's 6'5", 270. He absolutely was an athletic freak, running a 4.51 with a 35-inch vertical at that size. He's what a team can build around. Yes, he's a little bit of projection because of he was misused at Georgia, and they just have so many playmakers everywhere. The stats don't show. But if you can see what he does in the football field, there's a lot to like there, and I think they can really work with him in Detroit.
All right, good stuff. All right, a little bit of surprise there for me. I didn't expect him to go that route. We're at the 103 here, Rod, and you got the Houston Texans.
Yes, sir. This team needs a ton of work all over the place. And why not start up front? I'm going to go ahead and take Ikemefuna Ikwanu off the board. Again, an NC State guy. Just they need help, and they need help protecting whoever's going to be quarterback, whether that's Mills or somebody else they pick up later on down the road. They had the 9th most sacks in the league, and they were last in the league in rushing. So this guy offers them at least some second-level blocking. From what I can tell in watching him play, the guy finishes blocks. He's basically just a beast. He loves to run over people. And so if they're going to have a good running game to take the pressure off of Mills, they're going to need a guy like that. And I think if they can get a steamroller with this pick, then I'd take him over everybody else in that class.
Yeah, let me ask you real quick: what are your thoughts on our Mills? Do you think Mills could be the future there? Just a curious thought on that process there.
Look, the guy is not, well, I hate that word, but elite. He's obviously not a quarterback that you can build a franchise around. So maybe you get a year out of Mills, wait for the next class of quarterbacks, because obviously no one's impressed with this class. So you can use Mills for a year and get by. But I think when you lose a guy like Watson, a talent like Watson, I'm not anything else, but the fact that he can play ball, it's hard to replace that. So yeah, I mean, use Mills for a year and then move on.
Dude, did you use Google.com to pronounce his name, or did you actually hear it?
Here's a little trick for everybody. Watch YouTube clips and then
that's what I was gonna say.
over and over again. That's how you do it.
Nice, good stuff. All right, next up on the clock is the Jets, and Cecily, this is you.
Well, I'm glad you guys brought up pronouncing names, because I had to do the same thing. And the nice thing about having the Jets is that they need so much help everywhere that you really can't go wrong. But they have done some work in free agency, but I just don't think they've done work around their defense. Part of me wants to go with Thibodeau, which is one of the ones I had to look up on Google, but I think I'm going to go with the sauce. Ahmed Gardner, the quarterback out of Cincinnati. I think he will be able to make an immediate impact there. He's not going to need to learn. He didn't give up an entire touchdown during college whatsoever.
Wow. That's impressive.
Just an impressive player, going to make an impact right away, and they need all the help they can get.
All right, good stuff. All right, we're at the number 5 pick here with the New York Giants, and Gerson, you are on the clock.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see this player dropping. I honestly thought Cecily was gonna draft him. It's Kayvon Thibodeau, but that's who I would draft. I think Kayvon's the best player in this draft. To me, I know a lot of people probably don't like his interview process, the way he is, but I'd rather have my player be confident about the skills that he has. I think he's a very good pass rusher, but really he just fit that mold of what they need right now. They needed offensive tackle and edge, but I think they can get an offensive tackle later on in the draft. But I'm definitely going to go Kayvon Thibodeau. I just love his athleticism. I think he's the best player in this draft for defense. And honestly, I know we're not talking IDP, but he's definitely a top 3 locked-in IDP player for me too.
Nice. Yeah, I was just going to point that out. We've gone through 5 picks now with a bunch of fantasy analysts, and we've gone 3 edge rushers, a cornerback, and an offensive tackle. So, Tim, are you gonna break the streak here? You got the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I am going to break the streak a little bit. I did not see this player falling to 6. I think everybody wants me to take a quarterback here for Carolina, but I'm not. I'm going to take Evan Neal, offensive tackle from Alabama. I think that he is as good, if not better, than Ekwonu. I think that he could end up being, like Gerson was saying, the best player out of this draft. 6'7", he plays between 340, 350. But this dude projects as an immediate NFL starter. Carolina has one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Depending on certain metrics, they're bottom 3. Pretty much everything I saw. He is lacking a little bit of lateral agility, but he is an incredibly effective blocker. And his athleticism, flexibility, dude's just going to be a star.
They gave him 52 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Darnold was seeing 8 different kinds of ghosts. So I don't know. Whoever they put back there is going to get killed. So might as well start on the offensive line first.
Good stuff.
Wow.
It's a good way to go there. But like I said, we got fancy analysts here, and we haven't picked one offensive player yet, an offensive skill player at least. We are at the New York Giants, and we are back to you, Sam.
Well, I'm kind of annoyed because I was hoping that Evan Neal would then fall to me because I had Thibodeau at this pick, but we already got him for the Giants. And I was thinking, okay, perfect. I'll just make my Evan Neal pick here. And that's just been ruined. So thank you very much for that. However, obviously the Giants have so many needs. I think there's multiple picks I could make here that would all make sense. Part of me wants to go safety right here, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take Charles Cross off the board as well. Offensive tackle is going to be a position they desperately need, going to get the start right away this year. Again, Giants have so many holes. Let's go ahead and try to plug those up because clearly they're not planning on moving away from Daniel Jones. So let's try and protect him a little bit.
There you go. Good stuff. All right. So we are up at the Atlanta Falcons, and Ryan, you are on the clock. So Ryan, real quick before you make your pick, if this is how the draft starts, when we're doing our draft show, we open up the draft night with our live show. We're going to have nothing to talk about because there's going to be no offensive players to really talk about so far.
Yeah, but I'm going to be miserable the whole time because all these players I want are getting picked. So at least y'all be all basking that. So Atlanta is horrendous, to say it nicely. Like they literally have Cal Pitts and like 2 defensive players. They need everything. I know some people think they need a quarterback. It's not, you can't send a rookie quarterback in there, and nobody's worth taking at this point. But next year, when they have number 1 pick and they get their franchise guy, Bryce Young, he needs somebody to throw to other than just he needs something to throw to other than Cal Pitts. And I think Garrett Wilson's that guy. he adds that explosive element to the offense with run after catch. He can do a little bit now with Mariota there since he doesn't. He can do a lot on his own when he has the ball in his hand. He's a crisp route runner. He has a deep ball. And if Calvin Ridley ever comes back, that would be a really nice combination for their future quarterback. Whether it's CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. I would probably have took tackle there, but the guys out of one were gone, so I went skill position because it's just best overall for the future of that offense.
All right. Good stuff. And that would be, he'd basically be taking over the Ridley position there. So that's, I like that pick a lot there. All right. We are up to the 109 in Seattle. And Rod, this is your pick.
The theme, I guess, in most of these teams starting out is that they need a lot of help. Seattle, definitely one of those now. And look, I know that everybody wants to head toward the offense on this because Drew Lock obviously is not the answer. But they also need a defense too. Again, that Legion of Boom was depleted. They need people to be in that secondary again to take the pressure off that offense. So I'm going to take Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU, the cornerback, just to provide that. Kid had a great freshman year. Obviously, COVID kind of wrecked that second year and injury wrecked the third. But I have a feeling that there's a lot for him to prove. I feel like that he's going to fall on draft boards on actual draft day because a lot of teams are going to overlook him. But I feel like he's a good pick for a Seattle team that really, really needs a lot of help on both sides of the ball. And he'll get a chance. I think he'll get a chance to play early there too, which is good for him because then he can shake the rust off and quite possibly contribute.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter too. Didn't he run the ridiculous 40 times? Something like
4.3, something like that. Yeah, he said he couldn't run faster. Or 4.2, but he wanted to run a 4.3, something like that.
Ran a 4.27. That's what they said.
It was 4.37, I thought.
Yeah, it was 4.3, but he said he could run a 4.2.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
It was fast. Let's just put it that way. 4.3, 4.2, it doesn't matter at that point. You're just really, really fast.
Yeah, now we're just splitting hairs here.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, great pick there. I didn't expect that to come off the board there that soon. So great pick. All right, we're up to the 110, and it's the Jets on the board again. And Cecily, I'm sorry I did this to you, but I gave you 2 Jets picks. I apologize. I didn't realize I did that to you.
No, it worked out great because I got to focus on the Jets. And why would I ever think about the Jets? I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan. Why would I think about the Jets? For that matter? But I do have a little conundrum here, and that's that I want to go Jermaine Johnson, the defensive end from Florida State, but I believe that Kyle Hamilton is still out there. Wow. But yeah, I think I'm still going to go Jermaine Johnson right now. Just because I already addressed the Jets secondary in at pick 4. The Jets also grabbed Jordan Whitehead in free agency, so they might be able to those deep passes from their competitors. And now what we need to do is get some pressure on the opposing quarterback. So I like Jermaine Johnson. He's got a giant wingspan, great hands, intense. Everyone says he's active, powerful, and so we're going to add him to the Jets at pick number 10.
Yeah, good stuff there. And the Jets, I mean, their head coach is a defensive-minded guy too, so I can definitely see them going defense early here. They spent some picks on their offense last year, so they'll go defense this year and see those picks from last year like Elijah Moore and Zach Wilson kind of pan out for you. Good pick. All right, we are up. So I had just gotten used to saying the Washington football team, and now I'm going to have to get used to saying the Washington Commanders. But the Washington Commanders are on the board here, Gerson, and it's your pick at the 111.
I'm never going to call him the Washington Commander. I'm going to call him Washington Commando, you know. So just to make fun of them because they don't even know how to name a team. I'm pretty shocked that I honestly expected Kenny Pickett to the Panthers. I honestly expected a wide receiver to the Jets. And now we got Malik Willis. We got Drake London here for what Washington really needs, you know. And I honestly expected Kyle Hamilton too, but I love Kyle Hamilton, even though people think he ran too slow. But I don't care because he has a high IQ and he knows how to beat the angle. So I'm going to say they're going to go wide receiver and they're going to go Drake London. You
Sort of
know,
the
Drake
compliment.
London. Drake London to me is the best wide receiver in this draft. Before I used to have Treylon Burke. Of course, everybody 2 months ago had Treylon Burke, but shut up, Ryan. Just shut up. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Ryan. Ryan did not have him. He hated Treylon Burke, but he also hated Breece Hall. Let's be fair. But
I hate everybody.
okay, Chris Rock, calm down. Don't make me come over there and slap you. But no, I think Drake London's a great possession wide receiver, but really in reality, everybody has this jack problem with him, like yards after catch, can he separate and all this? I don't have that kind of problem with him. I think he's just an NFL wide receiver ready to play right away. I think London, for a reason, he didn't want to do like his metrics and everything. He knew he was already there because everybody else didn't do that great. But Drake London, just you watch his tape, he's fit for NFL ready. And there's a reason, if you look at all the mock drafts, he's been the first wide receiver taken.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them. Like, it's incredible. Like, all of them have him as the first wide receiver. So I love Drake London to Washington Commandos, but the thing is, I hate his quarterback.
Yeah, his quarterback situation is definitely going to be ugly for a little while.
Yeah.
All right, we are up to the 112 with the Minnesota Vikings. Tim, this is your pick as a
I gotta
Packers
tell
fan.
you, yeah, I
You gotta-
hate drafting
you
for the
gotta boost
Vikings
yourself.
here. I'm not going to lie about that. No, I can't believe Kyle Hamilton is still on the board. I'm so tempted to pick him here, but I had a plan and I'm sticking with it because the cornerbacks for Minnesota are absolutely trash, and I think that Trent McDuffie is a perfect fit for them. Out of Washington, he is a little undersized, about 5'11", 193, but plays excellent in space. He was first team All Pac-12. I think that some people are going to overlook him because of his size, but his athleticism, intelligence, just off the charts. This is a guy, especially on Minnesota, is going to step in and be a starter right from the get-go. So I think he can play inside and outside. They may start him in the slot since he's a little undersized, but this guy's going to be excellent, which is unfortunate because I'm going to see him twice a year.
All right, there's a lot of players falling that I didn't expect to fall here. It's getting a little surprising. We're up to the Houston Texans, and Sam, this is your pick.
I'm sweating bullets over here, just hoping that my guy doesn't go for the Texans because everything's. I had like my board set up, and you guys have already destroyed it. Like I'm having to make adjustments on the fly really quick. But my guy's still here for the Texans. I don't know if the rest of my picks are going to be there. I'm taking Jordan Davis because this big boy is going to help that team so much. At 6, sorry.
You just took Ryan's first newborn kid. Like, I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
I love Jordan Davis so much.
No, he's fantastic. I mean, at 6'6", 340, a big man. He impressed so much at the combine by running a 4.78, which is actually faster than Patrick Mahomes ran at his own combine, which is insane to imagine that much man running at you, which is amazing. Also had a 10'3" broad jump. He can shut down the run on the inside, which the Texans desperately need. They were, I believe, 27th in the league on the run last year. So hopefully he can help that, considering he can take a tackle and have multiple guys on him while still getting his guy. He's also nicknamed Godzilla for a good reason. He's got that big man mentality, and I just love the way that he's going to be able to affect the line.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Monster.
Has there ever been a nickname Godzilla for anybody else? Like I think there should be a nickname for somebody, but I have never heard it before. So if that's really his nickname, that's awesome.
I hope it is, because it's a really good one. It's very fitting.
Yes.
Maybe Aaron Donald. You know, that would be a great name for him.
Yeah.
He just killed everybody.
He doesn't need a nickname.
He's just Aaron Donald.
He's just Aaron Donald.
He's just Aaron Donald.
All right. We are up to 114, Ryan. Let me hit the draft. And I want to ask you, did she snipe you there? Did you want this to go to your Ravens? I know you're a Ravens fan.
This was my nightmare top 13 pick as a Ravens fan. Like, the way this draft went, like, I'm counting on a quarterback or two sliding in, which really there's a possibility it won't happen. So it was realistic, but this was my nightmare scenario. And I want Kyle Hamilton so bad because I love his game. I think he's an absolute monster. I don't know where he fits with Baltimore, just spending $70 million on Marcus Williams and Chuck Clark's their play color on the offense. He's not a big name. They still love him there. So what I'm going to do is it's tight. I'm taking Trevor Penning from offensive tackle from Northern Iowa. Offensive line is a bit of an issue still. He can play both tackle spots, and he's played at some time at guard. The thing is, what he does that fits Baltimore is he plays with a really nasty demeanor. If you look up his Senior Bowl film, he's just mauling people, maybe a little bit too far, but he has that bad attitude. He's going to excel run blocking, and he's going to fit right in with what they want to do as an offense.
All right. We are up to the 115, and this is a pick that I think changed, right? I know Eagles and Saints did some weird pick switching in the first round here. I can't remember if it was this pick or their next pick. But Rod, you are up here with the Eagles.
And I will actually take somebody that is going to touch the ball at some point this time for the first pick that I'm going to do. I think the Eagles need a little more help with receivers. They've got Devonta Smith, and that's about it. I mean, look, you can say Jalen Reagor is something. You can make a case for that. Zach Pascal came over. But, again, they need a number 2, and they need a young guy. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jamison Williams off the board from Alabama. Junior year, right, 1,500 yards. ACL injury right now, but I think that the Eagles can actually wait a little bit if they want to wait on a good receiver. If he takes a little bit to rehab from this and he's not available for camp or I think they have the luxury of waiting. So if they take a talented wide receiver like him, they can kind of eat a little bit of time. But I think they really need help and another speedy guy that can actually accumulate yards and help Hurts out, so he's not running for his life all the time. So I think he's a good fit for the Eagles and another steal because, again, this injury is probably going to keep him from a lot of people's boards early on. So if you can grab him, a talented receiver like that now, then grab him.
Yes, that's a good pick there. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he will be hurt a little bit by the injury that he had late in the season there. So, yeah, I agree. That's a great pick. All right, we are at the 116. It's the Saints. And, Cecily, this is you.
All right. Once again, Hamilton is still out there, and so is Charles Cross, which is super tempting here because the Saints need help on their offensive line.
I think Charles
Cross he went 7.
He went at 7.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. All right. That's
All
my
good.
rookie mistake. Let me make it up with my rookie.
No,
mistake
it
for
happens
you
a lot.
okay?
Don't worry about it.
I think that the Saints didn't take that trade for nothing, and they're going to take Matt Corral, first quarterback to go off the board in this draft with their 16th pick. Let me tell you why I think this, why I love Matt, okay? Number one, Jameis Winston isn't anybody's quarterback, okay? I think we know this. And Taysom Hill.
Jeff quarterback.
Dennis Allen's there. I think we can get rid of Taysom Hill. Corral is so underrated in this draft. He is the prototypical quarterback with his decision-making, arm strength, mobility. And I know people are talking about Malik Willis. People are talking about Kenny Pickett. But Corral comes from Ole Miss. He's been up against intense competition. And, I don't think those other guys have exactly had the kind of experience that he has. He's still going to sit behind Jameis most of the year, if not all of it. But look it up here with taking a quarterback.
Nice. I like that pick a lot. And actually, Courtney was on the show from Going for Two as well a couple weeks ago. We did a fantasy rookie mock draft, and she loves Matt Corral too. So both fantasy wise and in the NFL.
Oh, did you forget to mention she's an Ole Miss fan? I mean,
yeah, there is that too.
That's the reason why, but okay.
I was going to leave that part out.
I was going to say, don't leave that part out.
Oh, you guys will see. You guys are going to remember me for this one.
That's good. Yeah, we've had some history with that before, with being remembered for picks that we made. We actually, I wouldn't say Gerson was the #1 overall pick a month before the draft when Baker Mayfield went #1 overall. Gerson took him a month before when no one was talking about Baker Mayfield. We took a lot of heat for it. People said they stopped listening to the podcast. We knew nothing about football. I made sure once he got picked number 1 overall, I went back and I quote tweeted all of those tweets that we got all that hate from when he finally went 101. So if you got Matt Corral correct here, I'll make sure to do the same for you.
Thanks.
All right, we are up to the LA Chargers. And speaking of Gerson, you're on the clock.
So I'll be honest. I think the Chargers have, if the draft landed this way, they have all the leverage. They have all the leverage to trade out because everybody's going to want that quarterback, Malik Willis. They're going to want him. They're going to trade up for him. And I believe if the draft went this way, then there'll be a trade. But we can't do it because Papa Jeff doesn't allow us to do trades.
It'd be like a 4-hour-long podcast if we did trades.
Yeah. I would love to pick Kyle Hamilton, but they have a great safety, in Derwin James. I don't know. Is it free safety or strong safety? Derwin plays free safety.
Gerson plays. He plays everywhere. Gerson
plays everywhere.
Like they put him at free, strong. They put him at linebacker. They let him blitz. He literally does everything.
And the Chargers are one of the best teams in the league, just going best player available. Yep. I mean, every year, them, the Cowboys, and the Baltimore Ravens. Pretty sure that Ryan got excited a little bit, but no, I think I'm going to go with Kyle Hamilton here because they're just going to try to improve that defense. They did it in the offseason. They got J.C. Jackson. They got the defensive tackles. They got it. If there's ever a time to just go all in with the Chargers with like defensive players, make trades for Khalil Mack and all this, it's right now because you have Herbert, a top 5 quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yep.
If you're going to win, it's going to be now because we see these rookie contracts like Deshaun Watson. Thanks a lot, Deshaun Watson, for setting the market, you asshole. But like seriously, like, and every NFL team owner, like every owner, like we hate what the Browns just did. But of course, the Browns are going to brown. They're going to crap their underwear in a whitey tighty. But it definitely, for me, it's Kyle Hamilton. You got to build right now while you have Justin Herbert on a rookie contract.
All right. I like that pick there. You talked me out of the safety pick, and then you went and picked safety anyway, but I do like that.
I had it, man.
Yeah, you're right. Best player available. That's what they're going to do. The Chargers have always kind of done that.
Always.
All right. We're at the 118, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. And Tim, we haven't heard from you in a while. Let's get your pick.
If I'm the Eagles here, I'm screaming at my TV that Kyle Hamilton just went 1 in front of me because he would fit in so perfectly for how terrible their secondary is. So I'm going to go ahead and draft another corner here, Andrew Booth out of Clemson. He's about 6 foot, 194. This dude, his biggest problem is he's got to stay healthy, right? This dude projects incredibly well. He has all the traits you want from an NFL corner. He's just got to stay healthy. He's got a natural feel for spacing, incredibly athletic. And he actually will go and find the football. We talked about this last year on our podcast about Trayvon Diggs. It's like these days you either have the cover corners or the ball hawks, and there's very few people in between. I think Andrew Booth is one of those guys. I think Marlon Humphrey would probably be somewhat of a comp here. So the guy who I know I like, and Ryan's a big fan. So, yeah, I love this pick for Philadelphia if the draft plays out this way.
Yeah, that's a good pick because you're right. Their secondary definitely needed some help there. All right, we're at the 119, and we are at the where are we at? The New Orleans Saints, and Ryan, you're on the clock.
So with the Saints, obviously they just landed their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, they did.
Really, really tempted to give him a wide receiver here just because Michael Thomas is getting up there in age. We got Kamara, and really that's it. Marquez Callaway played a little bit over his head last year, but it's too hard to pass up a talent like Devin Lloyd, a linebacker there. That man is a absolute havoc wrecker on defense. He plays sideline to sideline. He can blitz. He sets the tone. He can coverage. He has a knack for just finding the ball. And a team that's always had and always had a good defense and prioritized that. He's the perfect addition to that. And protecting a young quarterback, having a good defense is a good way to do that with them be able to run the ball and him not having to be in shootouts.
Winston's not young, but okay.
Huh?
Winston's not young.
No, I'm talking about Matt Corral, who just got drafted.
Yeah, he got drafted. We just took Matt Corral.
2 spots ago.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Gerson, pay attention, man. I'm just kidding.
Winston's the real quarterback, though. Winston's the quarterback.
Exactly. You definitely need a good quarterback or a good defense then to protect you.
Yeah, for sure, because he's been throwing tons of picks. All right. We go from a Ravens fan living in Pittsburgh to a Steelers fan picking for the Steelers. Sam, what you got?
So I had 2 plans depending on how this would fall. And if Malik Willis wasn't on the board here, I was going to go with Tyler Linderbaum because obviously the Steelers desperate need of help at the offensive line, but I'm not going to take him there. I'm taking Malik Willis. We are in a crazy intense division where we need a young quarterback that is mobile. This is a huge key for us to stay competitive in this division specifically. So really excited that we can grab him. I know that Coach Tomlin's super excited about him. Not that I talked to him, but I know he's excited about him. So I cannot wait to get him on our team with everything that we have. I think he's a perfect fit. But again, if the real draft, he doesn't fall to us, I see us going offensive line here. And then I actually see us taking another quarterback in the second round. I really like Carson Strong as well for the Steelers there.
Good stuff. Let me ask you, do you think the Steelers have a chance of trading up to get a quarterback, or do you think they just stay where they're at?
No, I don't think that the Steelers are going to do that. Historically, they're not the ones to try and do anything crazy splashy in the first round. They sit, they wait. They're just going to wait for blood to go in the water, and then they go for it. They're sharks in a draft. They're not going to go and do anything reckless. So I can't imagine them trading up for a quarterback, especially not this class. Maybe if it was a different year for a quarterback class, maybe. But they're going to sit behind Trubisky no matter who they take. I'm going to take Willis here, and I think he'll do fine sitting behind Trubisky for a year.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we are up at the 121. The Patriots on the board, and Rod, this is your pick.
Sam, you almost had my GMs lighting everything on fire. You were going to snipe my pick 1 pick beforehand. I was literally going to run and have to tap dance to try to figure out who to pick next. Give me Tyler Linderbaum before I don't even get a chance to do it anymore. New England needs to protect Mac. He was sacked 28 times last season. Not an tense amount of times, but not as many times you want to see your rookie quarterback get put on his butt. So give him somebody to protect. They lost a couple of key pieces on the offensive line as well in the offseason, so they need to replace that depth as well. And, this guy's a big kid. He's 6'2", 296. He's huge. You put a guy like that in the middle of the field, not too many people are going to go around him. So I know that they need receivers. I know that they need big splashy offensive guys, but none of that means anything if your quarterback can't produce. So you got to protect him first. So give me that big stopper right there in the middle.
Hey, Rod, we don't want them drafting wide receivers. It's cool, bro. Just pick that guy.
Yeah, not in fantasy. Yeah, in fantasy, stay away.
Stay away.
All right, this pick right here, honestly, when this pick comes up in the real NFL draft, is probably the one I'm most intrigued about since my Niners aren't in the first round. And, I know Tim's been paying attention to it. He's had some famous moments with the live draft show with them taking some picks that he was not a fan of. So, Tim, if you were on the clock now with the Green Bay Packers, who are you taking?
Treylon Burks.
Fucker.
Green Bay, obviously, you traded away Devontae Adams. They're going to have to rebuild that offense. And who better to rebuild the offense around than Treylon Burks, a dude who is an absolute beast. They just find ways to get the ball into this dude's hands, right? Like his size, athleticism. He's a wide receiver that looks like a linebacker, right? You don't want to see that dude coming on down the field at you either. So I think the Green Bay Packers will find ways to utilize him to the best of his ability and actually have a real playmaker on offense again.
It's been a long time since they've taken a receiver in the first round. I know they've said it on TV. What was it? You know what year it was?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Donald Driver.
Was it that long ago? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's been a long time. So yeah, then again, a first round receiver here would be big, and I know you'd be excited, Tim, because you wanted to take.
I would, because you saw my full-on meltdown when they drafted Jordan Love. So
Yeah.
I'm really trying to avoid that again this year.
Oh,
If
that
they
was
could just
fun.
not draft a quarterback, that would be awesome. But yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun seeing Tim come back on the podcast last year.
1999.
Yeah, meltdown. That was awesome.
Oh,
All
sorry.
right.
It was Javon Walker in 2002.
2002. It's been 20 years since they've taken a first round receiver. Wow, that's crazy.
That's great.
Crazy to think about. All right, we're up at the 123, and it's the Cardinals. And this one is, I lost my place here. It's Cecily.
Well, I got swiped with that Treylon Burks pick. So I'm going to go ahead and go with George Karlaftis. And I think that his name is actually Yoros. He's Greek. And he's a defensive edge out of Purdue. The reason I really like him for the Cardinals is because they tend to utilize their front more than, say, their secondary in zone coverage. And I just don't know if I trust their edge rushers to stay healthy. And I think they're going to need someone who can come in there and immediately make a difference. So I think that he's also been praised for being incredibly passionate, powerful, and just relentless in pressure. I think they're going to benefit a lot from him. He's also Daniel Jeremiah's 16th ranked prospect right now, and
Nice.
that says a lot about him.
Good value right there.
And we just got Chandler Jones from the Cardinals, so that's definitely a great fit for them.
Yeah, definitely a great pick because the Cardinals are in a division where defense matters. You know, all those teams in that division, except for the Seahawks this past year, but historically they're a good defense as well. So you got to have defense in that league.
Yeah.
All right, we are up at the 124, the Dallas Cowboys. Gerson, you were up.
Well, good job, Tim. You ruined my skit. I had a really good skit going for this draft. You know, I was gonna do the Jerry Jones skit. You know, his little accent and everything, and select Treylon Burks from Arkansas because he went to Arkansas and everything. But you ruined it, dude. You ruined it. Good job. Yeah, well, that's who they were gonna go wide receiver. They would definitely go Treylon Burks. You know,
that's definitely a Cowboys pick. The Cowboys
that is 100%.
The Cowboys pick best player available. That's the way to do it over years and years. Over years, I mean, Micah Parsons, C.D. Lamb, even though what's his name though, the white middle linebacker with the big Brett
Van Der Esch.
Leighton Vander Esch.
I mean, that's the way they do it. But now that I got sniped, it's hard. But oh man, it's tough.
You took Kyle Hamilton from me, so it was only fair that I took one from you.
Oh, is that what we're doing now? You're just being a bully. I think they need an edge rusher, that's for sure. But my next edge rusher is definitely not. Give me a second.
Yeah, Gerson's at a loss right here. He doesn't know what he wants to do.
Well, you sniped me, and then I tried to distract.
Live look at the Dallas Cowboys right now, and they're all.
This is an accurate look at the Dallas Cowboys war room.
Yes.
His elbow
This is
raising his arms up at the sky.
Yeah, you wanted to do a Jerry Jones skit. You're doing it right now. You're like, oh shit.
This is what Jerry Jones doing right now. I think I'm gonna go Zion Johnson. I mean, they definitely need that. It to me. You sniped me, you fucker.
He's so pissed.
I'm so mad because this was perfect for this podcast. But no, Zion Johnson, Boston College. I still can't believe you chose him. Like, I honestly thought you were going to go elsewhere. I couldn't believe it. But no, Zion Johnson to me is the pick. I think the Cowboys will pick the best player available, but I wouldn't be shocked if Treylon Burks doesn't fall to them. They're going to trade out because they're pretty set at every position. But, you know, the offensive line needs work.
Yeah, you never have enough offensive line.
But I don't think there's an offensive lineman right now at this spot in the draft that is really worth to pick. I mean, maybe Ryan will disagree with me, but to me, I'm gonna go here with this guy. I have to go with Zion Johnson. He's a beast. Everybody keeps saying jokes about it, like is that Zion Williamson? But it's not, guys. It's Zion Johnson. Come on.
I mean, right now Zion Williamson probably could play offensive line. Have you seen him? He's like,
You could play that.
all right, we are up to the Buffalo Bills at the 125. Sam, this is you.
You know, my guy's actually still there at this spot, but just considering how things have dropped, I think I'm gonna pivot and change my plan. I thought wide receiver would be a good pick here for the Bills. Obviously, they've made a lot of offseason moves, and they could definitely use the depth, but they also desperately need help at the safety position. So I'm going to go ahead and take Daxton Hill here from Michigan. I think that he's going to be a good fit there and help, considering they're also waiting on what's his name? Tre'Davious White. He's still coming back from his ACL injury, so they need to get some backup depth there to help out. And they're kind of bleak at that position. You could pick them off very easily, and I think that we need to get them a bit more strong there. So I'll go ahead and pivot.
Yeah,
I don't mind changing plans.
We saw that their secondary. What was it? 18 seconds, and the Kansas City Chiefs scored on them. That was a pretty bad secondary play right there. So yeah, I agree that he's.
Hey! Don't hurt Jeff Bell's heart right now. Jeff Bell's watching this show.
All right, we are up to the Titans at the 126. Ryan, where are you going here?
So Titans last year's defense balled out, and obviously the struggle was moving the ball. They're a little bit handcuffed with Tannehill. I know they added Bobby Trees there, who's as solid as it gets, but they still need another explosive playmaker on that offense to go with A.J. Brown. And Chris Olave takes the top off of defense. Him just being on the field makes the safeties play back, which makes life for Derrick Henry much easier, and it opens up the world for that offense. I think they'll jump and get that kind of playmaker on that team, and it could give Ryan Tannehill his best chance of succeeding in that offense.
I love that pick there. I actually had it highlighted before you even picked it because I knew you were going with that pick there. I love Chris Olave. He keeps rising on my dynasty drafts as well.
I would sprint if I was to the board with that pick.
Agreed.
I think the Patriots might draft him. He looked like a Patriot guy.
Don't kill my Chris Olave love, please, man. The Patriots take him. I'm gonna have to drop him a few spots in my dynasty drafts. Please don't do that to him. I've already had a history with the Patriots receivers before. We don't want to mention his name on this podcast.
Hey, I tried to help you, dude. I tried to help you.
You did. All right.
Can we just talk about how a year ago Jeff was saying, please, anybody but Mac Jones, don't draft Mac Jones. So,
yes, this is true. I was saying that as well.
And his quarterback's the only one who can't get on the field. Got it.
Hey. That's because we made it to the we made it to the NFC Championship game, guys. Who else was in that position last year?
Well, Jeff was only saying that because he got Jimmy G.
Jeff, way to live in the past, man.
Teams of all time.
Way to live in the past.
Way to live in the past. All right, so we are up at the 127, and it's the Bucks.
I feel like I got to kind of come to your defense there, Jeff, because, I mean, look, what other team in the world makes the NFC Championship game and says, my quarterback's trash, we need a new one? Like, I don't know.
It's a luxury. You know, quarterback.
It very much is. Yay, Niner fans. All right, well, we'll turn to the other side of that. My daughter hates Tampa Bay's quarterback. She hates him with a bloody passion. So, but you still got to keep him upright. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. I never gravitate toward offensive linemen in my life. Like in anything I ever do, I never say, you know, it's a great pick, an offensive lineman. But here I am picking pretty much offensive linemen for everybody. Give me Kenyon Green. Again, 6'4", 325, dude's huge. I made that comparison for the last guy, but with Tom Brady needing to stay up one more year, he's brittle, he's old. Again, the Tampa Bay just lost a couple of their interior linemen as well. So, you know, one retired and another went away to trade. So they have holes to fill in that line. They've got good receivers now, with Russell Gage coming over there too. So it's not that they need that. Their defense is all right. I know they need a defensive lineman, but I think they can wait in the draft just in case Ndamukong Suh doesn't come back, or even if he does and he's not as good as he needs to. But that's something I think you can wait to the draft. This guy won't be around past this first round, so I think you got to grab him now. And with the reaction over here, I think that's right?
Yeah, I think somebody's upset there.
Oh man, that one hurt. All right, Gerson, I know how you feel now because that one hurt. This guy's actually from like where I grew up, right? He's from Humble, Texas. So
Nice.
he went to A&M. He's obviously a guy from my home state. So to see him in green and gold would have been a dream.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get to that 128 Packers.
Whew, I got to tell you, I'm kind of off my rocker right now. I feel like Gerson right now.
To be fair, though, it happened right before. Gerson had like 6 picks before he had to pick again.
Hey, man, I had something planned out. I had like a Jerry Jones get Bayless get for the whole pick. And, well, I didn't think Tim was going to do that to me.
If this happens in real life, I'm hoping they probably trade out of this. But no, I'm going to go ahead and go with Devontae Wyatt, Georgia. I think the Packers, front just is not, where it needs to be. If this is a situation where I think he can work right there next to Kenny Clark in that scheme and just, absolutely wreak havoc. He is arguably the best, 3 technique in this class. He wants to get up and rush the passer. He's not trying to, take up space. He's not trying to play the run. This dude's trying to get upfield and get to the quarterback. So we need more guys like that in Green Bay.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Cecily, I feel really bad because not only did I give you 2 Jets picks, I know you're a Chiefs fan, and they have the back-to-back picks here. I don't want to give you 2 back-to-back picks. So not only did I not give you the back-to-back picks, I'm going to have a Raiders fan pick your first pick for you here at the 129.
I mean, in honor for her, we can give her the first Chief pick, if you want.
No, really, you take it.
No.
I'm curious for the Raiders.
No, she's just going to judge you if you get it wrong.
No. Well, my mom always told me ladies first, so go ahead.
I'm married to a Raiders fan.
Oh, there we go.
Wow,
that's a tough household right there. Raiders.
It's a fun household, but it gets a little wild sometimes.
Nice.
That's
all right, Gerson, what you got here?
So one of the things that Patrick Mahomes had always had those wide receivers that are speedy, quick, like Tyreek Hill, obviously, and they traded him away. It can sound crazy. I think people are gonna be like, "Okay, and I know Ryan's gonna be like, "Don't do it, dude. Don't do it."
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Who we going with here, Gerson?
Christian Watson.
I knew it.
I mean, a lot of people probably don't know who he is because he's not really he's North Dakota State. I mean, last time we seen a player like that, it's probably like Carson Wentz, But I love Christian Watson, 6'4". He's built like 210 plus pounds, But I just think Christian Watson is very underrated.
Fast as hell too. Speed is what put him on the map.
So to me, is this if you really go look at his tape, it looks mediocre. It looks average and everything. But if you really look at his combine metric and everything, but it looks great. But to me, is this Christian Watson? Sometimes North Dakota State, you don't get that. You don't get that camera. What do you call it? Pay-per-view value.
The spotlight.
Yeah, spotlight. But we seen wide receivers just pop out all the time. I mean, we had a Hall of Fame Terrell Owen from Chattanooga. What is it? Chattanooga something?
Tennessee Chattanooga.
Yeah, Tennessee Chattanooga. But I'm not saying Christian Watson TO because that's not going to happen. But I love Christian Watson. I think he's built it very well. And I've been drafting him everywhere for fantasy football.
Yeah.
To me, Christian Watson looks like a very good pick here. I wouldn't be shocked if they traded up. And the only reason, this is the way the draft is going to land right now. But I do believe the Kansas City Chiefs are going to trade up higher than what they are right now. I believe they're going to use their 2 first-round picks or, the draft picks that they got, the draft capital they got from the Dolphins to trade up in the mid-range and maybe pick a higher tier wide receiver like, I don't know, Treylon Burks or just a better one.
Or Olave.
I'm going to hold that to the end, till I die, Tim, till I die. But yeah.
All right, so now we get the second of the Chiefs picks, the 130.
Well,
So
I really
first-
like your.
I
Oh,
was
go
gonna say,
ahead.
first thing, do you like the pick that he made for the Chiefs there?
I don't love it. Agree with him that I think they might trade up for a better wide receiver. At that point, though, with the best wide receivers off the board, probably go with somebody who's going to be able to get to us some more sacks. We need him badly, especially against just in this in the division now. It's ridiculous. The quarterbacks we're going to be going up against. So I think I'm going to take a chance on David Ojabo, and just going to pray that is healthy enough to start. He was so impressive, and I feel like he's got such power. I'm just a little worried, but who knows? Nowadays people are coming back from all kinds of injuries faster. I think he is, from what I've looked at, he's going to be ready to go. And I think the most important thing we need, if we're not going to get one of those top wide receivers, is we need sacks.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely what you need in that division. You definitely play in the toughest division in the NFL right now with those. I mean, you got Russell Wilson there. You got, Herbert. It's insane. We all got to deal with that division. All right, we are nearing the end here. We got 2 picks left. Next one is the Cincinnati Bengals. And Sam, this is your pick. What you got for the Bengals?
Well, obviously a division rival, but they made it to the Super Bowl, so I can't really harp too much on them. And I do just love watching Joe Burrow play. Like, it's this weird thing where I just love watching him play, and then I'm like, wait a minute. I thought that I'm a Steelers fan. Like, I need to not do
Sam,
this.
don't do it. Don't do it. I catch myself.
Do it.
Wait, are you just worried I'm going to take your person?
No, I just.
Oh.
He's a Ravens fan,
I'm
so
a
he
Ravens
watches
fan,
Joe
so
Burrow too.
I feel your pain here.
No, yeah. I mean,
you can't
I
look away.
No, you can't look away. I love Lamar Jackson too, so it just sucks. And I'm like, I love you guys, but I have to, like, in some ways hate you, but I can't hate. I'm just like, it's just, can we someone mess up and then we win? Like, that's kind of like where I have to cheer, which is kind of sad. But they obviously could use some help in shoring up their defense. Their offensive line is not the best. They do have a lot of holes that I think they can address in this position. And there's a couple people that are still on the board that I think could fit well. I had Travis Jones here, defensive tackle, that I thought would be a good fit. But since Tyler Smith is still on the board, I'm going to go ahead and take him instead. They definitely need the depth and the help at offensive tackle. So I think that's a really good pick for them here.
Yeah, that was the big story going into the Super Bowl, was the fact that he'd been sacked so many times, especially in the playoffs too. It was like the most sacked quarterback to make Super Bowl, I think, ever. It was insane. But yeah, offensive line definitely is a great pick there for the Bengals for sure. All right, and taking us home here with the last pick for the Detroit Lions, Ryan.
Do it! Pick him!
So when we were at 2, I thought it was far too high to take the quarterback since class just based off of the value of it.
Do it.
You're getting him on the 5th-year off. You're taking Kenny Pickett here. He can come in. He can run that offense. Worst case scenario, he's around what Goff does. Best case scenario, he shines. It's worth the chance here at 32. But I think Pickett can be a quality quarterback. You build the right team around him, you can win some football games. And I think Dan Campbell's offense can succeed with him.
And I think he's the best quarterback in this draft.
Oh wow, that's a statement right there. But I like the first year. You get the 5th-year option with the first round pick. Take him in the last pick of the first round. You get that 5th-year option. It's definitely a great way to go.
Just like Lamar.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Just like Lamar.
The 5th year option at 32 is beautiful.
It's beautiful, definitely.
Man, every Lions fan would just be screaming. The whole city's going to party if that happens, man.
Definitely.
Absolutely. They're already sick of Goff.
Yeah.
And they're on Hard Knocks, right? Did I hear that?
They are, yes.
So you get the quarterback on Hard Knocks too. See
That
if
would
he does a quarterback RV like Baker did.
All right. Great podcast, everybody. Let's go around the room really quick. Give us your Twitter handle one more time. If there's anything that you want to plug, we'll just go from the top all the way around. Samantha, we'll go to you first.
Thanks again for having me on. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Samantha R. Holt and on Instagram at Sam_awesome. You can find the fantasy debate on Dr. Oto as well as the Look Back podcast. We have 2 new episodes from the fantasy debate where we talk about free agency moves, and then we're all going to be talking about rookies coming up to the draft. So keep an eye out for all of that content.
Good stuff. Rod.
All right. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Find the SGPN Fantasy Football Podcast on the SGPN app or anywhere else where you get your podcast. We're talking USFL coming up.
Nice.
I know we got some NFL stuff too, but there's a USFL draft coming up on Tuesday for USFL Fantasy. And then if you're into NASCAR, follow me on the NASCAR Gambling Podcast too on the SGPN app as well. So a lot of stuff going on in the SGPN world.
Good stuff. You're well-rounded. You got a little bit of everything there.
Too much, some may say.
Good stuff. Cecily.
Thank you so much, Jeff. You can find me at Mrs. Team Riddell on Twitter. I also work guillotineleagues.com. If you're not playing in a fantasy guillotine league, you are missing out. They are so fun, so intense. Also want to read my musings. You can on goingfor2.com. Where I usually dabble a little in fantasy and a little in sports gambling.
Good stuff. And you're going to be on some more of the podcast this summer too, right?
I hope so. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep. Good stuff. Gerson.
Yeah. So I hope we have you on. My name, at the Fantasy DFS on Twitter. And you can follow me on every week during week 1 to 16, basically.
Yeah. Wait, Gerson, what time is the show at? Do you remember?
7:30 Mountain Time and 9:30 Eastern Time. Every now and then.
We only use Eastern Time around here, Gerson.
I'll just let you know the show starts when I show up. Okay, that's it. With Jeff and Tim. I mean, honestly, this is what our 5th year, 6th year.
We're going on our 5th year. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this show is awesome. On the Fantasy DFS, you can find me on the DFS Roundtable on Facebook. Just give me an ad on Twitter. And honestly, I'm so excited for football.
Excited already. And it's it's only April. All right, Tim, what you got?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Keto DFS. As Gerson said, you can find us on Facebook, DFS Armchable, whatever that podcast group is called at this point.
Changing names.
Absolutely. No, great show. I cannot wait for football, just like Gerson said, and the real NFL draft, because we know it's going to be crazy. Every year it's crazy. I think we're going to see a ton of trades this year, and I absolutely cannot wait.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen more trades than I've ever seen in the history of the NFL, it feels like. I mean, some of the
this whole offseason has been one to remember. I mean, it seems like every year we say this is the craziest offseason, but the quarterback movement, the wide receivers, I mean, this is something else.
It's like the GM.
No, this really is the craziest.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah.
I mean, next year they're going to trade Patrick Mahomes and the Raiders. You know.
Stop it! Just stop that.
Ryan.
Find me on Twitter at Foss534. Find me Go for 2 every Wednesday night, even though our schedule's weird this month. Find me over at the SI Draft Bible. I have a huge announcement coming out after the draft, which is going to be a bunch of fun. So talk to you all then.
All right. As always, guys, follow me on Twitter at Jeff Lambert77, which I just noticed I don't have the 77 on my Twitter handle on the screen there, so ignore that. I don't know who you'd be following if you clicked on that one right now. But I wanted to plug our draft show for this year. We're going to be going live all 3 days. We decided to break it up this year. Me and Ryan will go live for 2 hours. Then we'll have somebody.
Am I allowed to stay on longer?
Stay on as long as you want, but I will definitely be signing off at 2 hours because I was exhausted last year going 4 hours or 4.5 or whatever we did last year. So this year, we're going to divide it up with all the shows. So me and Ron will go live for 2 hours, and then I think the Bet On It guys come over and take over for the last 2 hours, and then we got a new group on the Friday show, and then Kyle and his crazy ass with his 5-hour podcast is going live on Saturday for however long he can possibly go for, which is probably.
I'll be there.
Yeah, Gerson will be on that show as well. All right. For everybody on the show, I appreciate everybody coming on. It was a lot of fun tonight. I think we made some great picks. So we'll see y'all next week.
Go Pack, go.